Foundational Black American truths. There are many missing truths about foundational Black Americans. We need to know more and more about our history. Foundational Black historical truths will explain to you why we are the foundation of America. Foundational Black American is not a group. Foundational Black American is not an organization. Foundational Black American is a lineage. A lineage is a lineal descent from an ancestor, ancestry or pedigree. As a result, we are descendants of the African and Aboriginal Blacks who built the United States. Yes, that is what FBA is. Foundational Black American is a lineage. We are Aboriginal Black indigenous people, native to the United States. Foundational Black American ancestry is African. Foundational Black American heritage depends on our tribal origins and presence in the various states. Aboriginal foundational Black Americans were the first slaves in the United States. Yes, the first slaves in the United States were Aboriginal Black Americans. Foundational Black Americans' identity matters. They have used many terms to make foundational Black Americans invisible. They called us colored. They called us minorities. They called us African American. Now they call us people of color. No, foundational Black Americans are Black people, and Black is a beautiful thing to be. Foundational Black Americans fought in the Civil War. Yes, 65,000 foundational Black Americans fought in the Civil War. We built the United States. This is our culture. Number one, we are an Aboriginal Black indigenous people, native to the United States. Yes, we were here before anyone else. We were here since 100,000 years ago. The first foundational Black Americans arrived here from Africa. They had to come from Africa because most of the United States, most of America's was under ice. Canada, much of North America was under ice. The only people that could get here had to come from Africa. You know, they have immediately tried to identify us. They said that the American or Indian race found only Americans of a deep copper color, straight black hair, high cheekbones, eyes, black, sunken, and large faces. Look at that picture. They said the African and Negro race, they have a jet black skin, low, narrow forehead, black woolly hair, thick lips, long heels. But look, those pictures are exactly the same. The only difference is they put a feather in the Indians. The Caucasian in America used divide and rule to dominate foundational Black Americans. Now we have to see that we are one people. We have to be one. Be one. Look at this. We were the first people throughout the United States, the Midwest. We were everywhere. Look at us. We were the first Black people here. Yes, we were the foundational Americans. We were the Black Indians. Yes, the Indians, you saw it. You saw what they said. The Black Indians look like you, Black people. They were not Mongoloid Indians. Oh, yes. Oh, the Mongoloid Indians got their addresses from the foundational Black Americans on the West Coast. They always try to say that foundational Black Americans are wannabe Indians. No, they're not. Number two, another truth, foundational Black American ancestry is African. Foundational Black American heritage depending on tribal origins and presence in the United States. There's so much that unite us. There's so much that hold us together. There's a bind to us. There's a bond. There's a role. Look, look. This is what they said. Look at what they said. Look at the American and look at the African. They both wore headdresses and wraps around their head with feathers in it. They had the same costumes. And yet, the European, the pale faces, they do everything to make you believe that you're only from Africa. No, we're the same. There's continuity between Aboriginal, foundational Black Americans and Africans. Look at this African American, this African Muslim with a feather in his wrap or turban. And look, there's a Cherokee, and he wrote the same things. We are one people. Be one. There's continuity between Aboriginal, foundational Black Americans and Africans. Look here. Here we see another African with feathers in their hair. And then we see an Aboriginal foundational Black American with feathers in his hair. Stop letting people allow you to deceive you. Here's a picture of my beautiful wife, Susan Winters, and Alice Osceola. Look, they look exactly the same, but I'll admit, My wife, Susan, she's Blackfoot and Cherokee. But again, we're black first. B1, black first. Number 3, Aboriginal foundational Black Americans were the first slaves in the United States, sadly. The British, before they even set up colonies here, were kidnapping Black Indians and selling them to the Caribbean. Europeans came and they stole us. They stole our Black Aboriginal people. They sold us because they wanted us to work in their mines. They wanted us to make money for them. They wanted us to farm. Europeans didn't know how to farm. They only learned how to farm from foundational Aboriginal Americans. They were able to buy us, and we sold each other. Sadly, we sold each other for rum and guns. What a pathetic tradition. Sad. Wars between Black Indians and whites manufactured to produce Black slaves for whites. The English, French, and Dutch provided the Native Americans with guns, rum, and cheap goods to purchase Native American Indian slaves. Yes, between 1670 and 1720, many Black Native Americans were just sold out. They were kidnapped. But that didn't stop then. Up till the end of slavery, whenever they wanted some more slaves, they would attack a Black Indian village and put them all in slavery. The Black Native Americans were sold into slavery throughout the 13 colonies, Mississippi Valley, Canada, and the British West Indies. The majority of foundational Aboriginal Americans were sold into slavery by white and Indian slave traders, yes. They were the Choctaw, the Yamasee, and other Carolina tribes. That's a sad tradition because later these same tribes were kidnapped and sold into slavery. But they sold their own people. What a sad legacy. Many Black people, in a sense, were killed by diseases. Yes, they gave them smallpox, you know. The Blacks were very many slaves. Between 1670 and 1750, an estimated 40,000 or 50,000 foundational Aboriginal Black Americans were sold into slavery in the Caribbean. Most of these slaves, they were Black from the Carolinas. Yes, we sold each other. That's how the European has taken over the United States. That's how he took over Africa, because Black people were selling each other into slavery. Many people today refuse. Many of our Indian Aboriginal people refuse to be called Black because they want to be called an Indian. But what did it get us before? Nothing but divide and rule. Between 23,670, majority of Black Indians were sold into slavery. They worked in the Bahamas. They worked on those plantations and they died because we sold each other. Number 4, identity matters. You see, they always try to use terms to divide us, to make us invisible. They first, in a sense, during the period of before the Civil War, they called us colored. They called us colored. They put us in waiting rooms. But look, here's your Black Native Americans. Here's our Aboriginal ancestors. But look, unless they tied a ribbon around their head, they all look like another foundational Black American, because we are one. We are one. Stop trying to deny your Blackness. Then later, in a sense, after they used the color scheme, then in the 1920s, 40s, they said we were minorities. They were going to give the minorities rights. Yeah, they gave the minority rights. But before you know it, instead of, in a sense, giving foundational Black Americans the rights, giving us our justice, they gave the rights to the Latinx. They gave the rights to the Asians, you see. But they pretended they were going to give them the foundational Black Americans. We can't fall for the rope-a-dope. We can't be fools. Our mass must come from our truth. Then Jesse Jackson, he said we should be called African Americans. Look at here. Look at here. Here's Elon Musk. He's from South Africa. He's an African American. Other Africans have stolen our heritage, stolen our fellowship, stolen our scholarships, because if we called ourselves African Americans, stop it. We're foundational Black Americans. We're a lineage. We are a separate people, a unique people. Then they called us nothing, but today we call ourselves FBA, Foundational Black Americans. We're strong. We believe in ourselves. We have our heroes, strong heroes. These heroes, in a sense, were able, in a sense, to withstand the terrors of slavery. Yes, slavery was a terrible thing. Slavery was terrible. They treated us terrible as slaves. Outside of every plantation they had a head of a black person to show you what would happen. But that didn't stop us. We still went to universities. We still started our colleges, schools, churches, and we had our heroes who fought for justice. They knew they could die at any minute, and many of them died, like Martin Luther King and Malcolm X. But that didn't stop us. That didn't make us give up. We still fought. We still fought to get our rights. We still fought to be free. You see? Many people teach you that Lincoln freed the slaves. That's a lie. Lincoln didn't free the slaves. He didn't free the slaves just because we were willy-nilly waiting around, waiting for somebody to help us. He freed the slaves because many of the Irish, many of the other immigrants, many of the good white folk, they deserted the army. And as a result, it took 65,000 black people, yes, 65,000 black people fought in the Civil War. We fought for our own freedom. They didn't give us nothing. Stop it. Stop it. Stop believing that you can get anything without a fight. Just like we had to fight in the Civil War to gain our freedom, we have to fight today. That's what we did. Look at us. We fought against all odds. You know, the Mongoloid Indians, they from Oklahoma, they set up the policy. Their policy was that no black could surrender, so we had to fight to the last man. Black men fought. They fought hard. They turned things around. The Confederates was winning the Civil War. Yes, they were winning the Civil War until we got involved. Our brave men, our brave soldiers, those foundational black Americans who stormed those Confederates. Thank you so much. We fought. We freed ourselves. Nobody gave us nothing. Many people say we don't have a culture. But American culture is FBA. The food, the music, the language. Look at what American food is. Greens, potatoes, chickens, corn, cornbread. This stuff didn't come from Europe. It came from here. It was the foundational black Americans who made these dishes. Many of the dishes that they talk about, many of the foods they talk about, they came from us, from the Southerners, because that's what we did. And don't say nothing about the American music. The world, all around the world, they ride on our music. They get down on our music. They love our music. That music came from us. That music came from foundational black Americans. Yes, they say we don't have a culture, but the whole world grooves off our music, foundational black American music. Culture. Yes, we have a great culture. We have a cool culture. Our clothing, our art is unique to us. Yes, it's unique to us. We have a certain style of being cool, baby, cool. Foundational black Americans are known for their coolness. We made beautiful artworks. We had great artists. Yes, yes, yes. Stop letting them teach you. Stop believing that you didn't contribute. Look at this great Charles White, other great artists. Look at this great art that made us, that allowed us to show our creativity, to show our lifestyle, to show our culture, baby. Culture, baby. Oh, we got a woman working on the plantation. Then we playing music, great music, and they love our music. We got a culture. Foundational American culture is American culture. Foundational black Americans built America before and after Europeans came to the USA. Yes. We built America. There was no America without us. Who do you think built the roads? Who do you think cleared the lands? They had slaves throughout America, not just down south. We did the work. We did the hard work. What do you think we did? We also cultivated rice and cotton. What made the United States rich? Was cotton and rice. The people in the North made money shipping, and the people in the South made it by growing it. And we was everywhere. And not only that, we were the tradesmen. Yes, we were the people who worked in steel. We were the people who, in a sense, worked in making all the trade items, the charts, everything. And most importantly, we built the railroads. It wasn't the Chinese. It wasn't the Irish. We built the railroads. There were railroads in America before the Chinese and Irish got here. Who do you think built them? We built them. We built America. We built the United States. American technology is really technology made by Black people. We made all the great inventions. I'm not trying to brag, but foundational Black Americans made the great inventions. They made the great inventions. We made in a sense the microchips. we made in a sense the electricity, the railroads work. We made it. We were the ones who brought down this knowledge, this knowledge that allowed us to be a successful people. We took these innovations and America spread it around the world. There would be no electric train, there would be no electricity without us because we did it. Oh boy, and what about Lewis T. Lattimore? Lewis T. Lattimore, he made the light bulb work, you see? We also made other inventions. We were the ones who made the technology that allowed the United States to be the dominant power in the world. We're the dominant power in the world because of what? Because of our efforts, foundational Black Americans. We made it happen. We made it do what it do. We made it do what it do. Oh, yes. Even the industry was made by us. Industry was made by us. We even did the Hubble telescope. Yes, the Hubble telescope, the strongest telescope in space until just a few months ago. It's made by a brother, yes, a foundational Black American. Oh, no. And what about Elijah McCoy? I know you heard about Elijah McCoy. He's the real McCoy because he made the oil machine that lubricates all the machines that work. Without him, there would be no industrial revolution. What a brother. Foundational Black Americans have done it. Foundational Black Americans, we also, in a sense, every time we tried to do something, they tried to destroy it. They destroyed Black Wall Street, you see, because the pale face, second frequency, the white man, whenever they see us trying to build up our communities, they always tear it down. We're not a lazy people. We're a creative people. We're a people about making progress. But every time we try to move forward, they try to set us back. But that don't stop us. They got rid of Black Wall Street, but we had Rosewood. We built up Rosewood. You see, we're building up communities today. Yes, there's a massacre in Rosewood. Again, as we're building up, getting our bags, getting our money together. They destroyed Rosewood, but did that stop us? No. No. We continue to make progress today. We continue, in a sense, to build up our communities. In 1919, they had riots. Many Black troops that fought in World War I, they came back from Europe, determined to make a better way. They came back from Europe to build up our economy, and they did try it. But again, Europeans gave it. Europeans are always there to try to knock us down, always there to keep us down. But that don't stop us. That don't stop us, you see. And then finally, we adopted the Mongoloid Indians. But second frequency, the white people, beginning with Benjamin Franklin, they gave them our heritage. They took away our heritage. When these Indians came here, they didn't know anything about building or farming. You see, they were nomads. They lived in teepees. They moved around from place to place looking for animals to hunt. But we brought them in, we adopted them, and what did they do? What did they do? Led by Benjamin Franklin, they stole our culture. They stole our history. You know, we were the first, we were the 5 civilized tribes. But if you look at the picture on the left, you wouldn't think so. These people began to represent the Cherokees. These people began to represent the Choctaw, the Cree, and the Chickasaw. These people weren't the original Choctaw. They weren't the original 5 tribes. The original 5 tribes were Black like you. They were Aboriginal foundational Americans, you see. But they decided they would not respect them. They decided they would steal their heritage because they felt that they took away our heritage, we would have nothing. Yes, they never made treaties with us. They never put us on reservations. Why? Because they just felt that they could take it away from us. They felt because the Moors had ruled them for 500 years that they could do the same to us. These are foundational Black American truths. These are truths about our history, about our culture. But you must remember, what is a foundational Black American? A foundational Black American is not an organization. A Foundational Black American is not a group. A foundational Black American is a lineage. A lineage is a lineal descent from our ancestors, our ancestry, our pedigree. We build America.